Good day to everybody, and welcome into episode number 2 of Coach Carnes' Corner, starring head coach Jarrett Carnes, head coach of the Liberty girls basketball team. Happy New Year to you as we record this early in January. And Coach, I hope your 2023 is off to a good start. And I think overall you're going to be happy with the first month of your season. But how were things for you and your family and your extended family in the Bethlehem community?
Yeah, absolutely. A great holiday with my own family. Good New Year's as well. It was nice to be off, but it's good to be back. And I'm definitely happy with my results, with what my girls did. Definitely got some stuff to work on, but standing at 7-4 halfway through the season, I'll definitely take that. Some good progress.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks in particular, you guys posted a lot of wins. But before I ask you about the holiday tournaments and your thoughts about playing around the holidays, just wanted to get your thoughts on the beginning of the season. Overall, you had some pretty good teams the first month of the year. You mentioned 7-4 in the EPC, which is very impressive. I know I never met a coach that's not happy, regardless of how many wins you have. So obviously, there's always things to work on. But overall, your thoughts on the first month of the season, getting more wins, and obviously in terms of the playoff picture, you're probably not looking quite at that yet. But in terms of everything overall, a 7-4 start, I guess you're overall pretty happy with.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely some things to work on, and we will continue to work on those things. You can never be too happy with a win. You gotta enjoy it for the 24 hours as we say there, that 24-hour rule. And then if you're playing the next day or you have practice the next day, you gotta move forward. But enjoy it while it lasts for the day or the night.
Yeah. And among your wins, one of them was against Nazareth, the team that's always strong a year in and year out. Rich Pickard always has quality kids up there. Maybe you could talk about some of the wins and some of the teams that you saw the first couple weeks of the season, especially some of those impressive wins in the EPC.
Yeah, I was actually shocked when I heard that Liberty girls haven't beat Nazareth girls in over 13 years. I mean, I was in high school the last time that the Liberty girls had beat Nazareth. So, but like you said, I mean, Coach Vic over there does a great thing with those girls in his program. And it was a tough battle. I mean, it came down to literally the last second, and we ended up pulling it out. Proud of my girls that they pulled out a close game, and I think we won 41-40. So I'll definitely take it. And like I said, to hear that we haven't beat them in 13 years is pretty good.
Yeah. And I guess one of the big surprises, not that Easton won, but how the margin of victory over Bethlehem Catholic. That was one of those games I circled as one of the early games of the year. They play each other again second time around. They're going to be probably be seeing each other in leagues and districts as well too. So still a lot of story in that rivalry to be written yet between the Rovers and the Golden Hawks. But were you surprised by the margin of victory in that ball game? And Easton certainly is for real. And Becca, looking at some of their scores since that game, Becca, of course, is for real. But I guess you're awfully impressed by the Red Rovers with another big start to their season.
Yeah, I mean, Easton starting out 10-0. I mean, props to Coach Lutz and what he does with his program and his girls. He got Anya Staten over there. He got Megan Elias and then Evelise Cole. So they're great players in the league. And you're going to continue to see them do well. But yeah, I was shocked with the score and what I saw after I got home and saw that it was a pretty big deficit. But I know Coach Medina will have his girls bounce back, and I know that they did. He does a great thing with his girls over there. He has some hoopers over there, but I mean, you can't take it for granted. On paper, it may look like a great matchup, but you come out and Easton, I guess they had the home court advantage. I'll say I wasn't in the building, I didn't get to see the game, but Easton came out and they showed that they're for real.
Yeah. As you said, you're busy with your own team a lot of nights and don't get to see teams in person. But were there any other surprises through the first month of the season, either in terms of the team's performances or scores you saw, or individual performances from anyone from Liberty or teams that you faced, or any other games you were able to scout or see on film?
Yeah, I am impressed with Emmaus. I didn't see them being 9-2 going into the season, but they're off to a great start. So I want to give my flowers to Coach Gallagher. She's doing a great thing up there. Her girls are competing. I know she lost a couple girls last year, but she has some young girls and some returners, and they're battling out. So to be 9-2 overall, and I think they're 6-0 in the EPC. Hats off to them.
I know it's only your second year and you don't have a chance to schedule more than a couple of years, but what's your thoughts overall on playing over the holidays before we talk about your specific tournament? Are you a fan of it? Some coaches say it's a great opportunity to build chemistry or to work on certain things. What's your thoughts overall on getting some action in and trying to either play in a tournament or schedule a non conference game or two between Christmas and New Year's?
I think it's great. I like it. The girls they have off. The students obviously have off from school, and it is a good way to if you're not gonna have a tip off tournament to start your season. It's a good way to get out there and play other teams that aren't in the league. So I like it. I mean, uh, day games, I'd rather play at night. Our games were during the day. I can't say everyone played during the day, so I'd rather play at night. But I like the holiday tournament thing, and one day hopefully we can host a tournament at Liberty. I'd like to do that. But we may struggle with that because of the whole big wrestling tournament that goes on every year. But I love it, and personally, I've coached the holiday tournaments. And I've played in a holiday tournament in Florida. I know Parkland actually went down there and they played in the same tournament that I played in and coached in. And that was a great experience. I mean, you go down there, it's a family vibe. You got the whole travel vibe. Then you go down there, you play a couple games, you have practice set up at a nice little sports center. Then you get to enjoy the parks. If family comes down there, I mean, family joins you at the parks, Universal, things like that. So if you get to travel and go out and do a trip like that, I mean, it's great. But staying home and just and playing and not staying off, uh, definitely something to do instead of just practicing day in day out and then waiting till the new year to get started back up. So I'd rather play games and then have a little bit of practice in there.
Well, if you ever schedule a tournament in Florida around the holidays and you need an extra team manager, but count me in. I'd be happy to, anytime to get in the warm weather, get away from any potential cold weather or snow, I'm in for that.
I will
But
definitely keep you in the loop.
now you played in Saucon Valley, which is slightly south, but not really that south. But Saucon Valley and Ole Valley were the teams you saw in the holiday tournament. Ole Valley, it's funny, a lot of Lehigh Valley teams are matched up with them, boys and girls. So I don't know if they just match up well or things are kind of falling just so that a lot of non-conference games against Lehigh Valley opponents with Lehigh Valley teams is Ole Valley. But your thoughts on Ole Valley and Saucon Valley and the teams you faced in winning that holiday tournament?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going on with a lot of teams actually playing them, but I mean, hats off to them. I mean, they're playing out in Berks, and they're actually a familiar opponent of mine because when I was coaching out at Kutztown, they were in our division, so we would see them twice a year. So I knew that they would put up a fight. They got some good girls out there, and they actually did put up a fight. I think we won by 8 or 9 against them. So unfortunately, we saw them in the first round. I would have liked to see them in the second round. It would have been a little bit more of a battle. But hats off to Saucon Valley in the championship game, and with Salisbury being the host, I mean, appreciate them having us. It's not the tournament that I chose. I mean, I was kind of locked into it with me getting the job, so it was set in stone last year and then this season. So I'm actually looking for a holiday tournament next year because Salisbury won't be hosting one. So coaches, if you're watching this or if anyone's watching this and you got some ideas for me, please reach out, and I will definitely consider that.
Especially if everyone wants to go to Florida for the week too.
That's
Oh,
that takes a lot of work. You got to do some fundraising. You got to definitely do some fundraising. So if you put in the work in the off season, and you can get out there, I mean, it's a great experience. So go live it up because not everybody is going to be able to, I mean, travel and take those trips, as you would like if you go to play college basketball and whatnot. So, um, but yeah, I mean, definitely was a great tournament. Proud of how my team played. And I want to just give a quick shout out to Ruby Miller and Emma Puxon. They were on the all tournament team there, and Ruby Miller was actually MVP. So good work, girls. But overall, we played great team basketball, and I'll take 2 victories over the holiday break. And now we just got to move forward.
yeah, can't complain. 2 for 2 in the tournament, and then you start at the beginning of the year. And sometimes over the years, I see teams that will play in a tournament, and then they have New Year's, and then they come back a little rusty or a little out of sorts. But you kind of found your groove. And I know some people, a lot of times in a lot of sports, people in the Lehigh Valley say, "Well, we're much better than the Pocono teams," but there's some pretty good play in the Poconos on the girls' side. And you didn't take anything for granted your first game of 2023. Maybe you can talk about your game earlier this week and another big win that you guys posted.
Yeah, actually, we were looking for some revenge. We saw Pocono Mountain East right when we went on holiday break. That was a Thursday, I believe. And we went up there and they took it to us. They took it to us. They ended up beating us. So I told the girls, I mean, they're on the schedule. We'll see them within like the next 12, 13 days. They're coming down to our house, and it's actually was a league game last night. And my girls responded very well. I mean, we watched some film, we practiced some things that they showed us. We wanted to make sure that we were able to get that conference victory because towards the end of the year, if you don't collect those now, they can bite you. So I'm definitely proud of how we responded. It was a great game. Well coached. They sit in a zone and they bring it to you though. They definitely bring it to you. So we found some openings. Ava Kopetsky had a career night. She's a freshman that we have. She had 22 points. So we played team basketball and put it in the cup, and then played defense, grab some rebounds, and we'll take the victory. So moving on now, we got Bethlehem Catholic Friday night. Should be a good one here in Bethlehem. We'll take the trip over there, even though it's about a minute away, and we'll battle it out there.
I was going to say this is the tough question because looking up and hopefully this is uh, when you look ahead at the schedule, you have Bethlehem Catholic, Easton, and Central Catholic. And I know the Vikings lost the other night to Parkland, but they've posted some really nice wins. You have three really tough opponents coming up over the next 7, 8 days or so. I don't know if there's an advantage to seeing three solid teams like that right in a row, or you kind of get them in a row, or maybe you can get in a zone and carry it through. Or what's it like having three tough, really good games almost back to back to back over the next week?
We like to test. We want to be tested, so we know where we stand in the league. I mean, we're going to see these teams later on down the road. Hopefully, if we get into the playoffs, whether that's just districts or if we make both districts and EPC playoffs. So it'll be nice. It'll be nice to get a test there, get a feel for what we're going to see later down the road. Because you don't just want to beat up on opponents all year and win by 20, win by 30. I like those nitty gritty games where it comes down to the wire, and your heart's pumping, biting your nails. So definitely like those tests. And all great programs. Great programs. They got good girls there. Central Catholic. They got a good guard. Driscoll. And like I mentioned there, Easton. They got Elias. They got Staten. They got Cole. And then seeing Bethlehem Catholic as well. And they got some hoopers. So I like the test, and it'll show us where we stand. And if we can battle it out and collect some wins, that'll be great. And just let the league know that we're here to play.
I was going to say when you look at those three teams, obviously they have a great front court mix as well. But as you well know, it's so important when you have quality guard play, and all three of those teams have that. Does that make things tougher when you're facing teams that have high basketball IQs? They can pass, they can do a lot, they can read defenses. Is that make things even more challenging to face three good teams that are led by three solid guard units?
Yeah, it does. It does. But thankfully, our roster is guard heavy. We got a lot of guards, and we play at times four guards, maybe even five guards at times because our guards are nitty gritty. So that there, I mean, that'll have us backed up and ready to go against some powerful guards. But also, I mean, Becca and Easton, they got the bigs to go with it. And I mean, Easton has guard Evelise Cole, where she can play inside, she can play outside, and she's at least 6 foot. If not, she's a little bit taller. So they got the guards and the bigs. But yeah, I mean, it makes it tough because basketball IQ is a thing you need out there. And if you're led with basketball IQ by your guards, I mean, normally your guards are bringing up the ball. So if they could see the floor, spread it out, see what defense is out there, and see a mismatch or whatnot. So, and I'm a guard myself, so I love to see good guard play. And now the league has evolved where it's like even if you have a big and they're somewhat athletic, they might be, I mean, a guard in your system. They might be bringing up the ball. So, yeah, I love the guard play. So, I love to see our guards battle it out with some of the good guards in the league, and it'll let our guards know where they stand as well.
Well, before I let you go, I just want to get your thoughts. We're now a month in. a little more than a month away from the start of the league playoffs, and then of course district close behind that. So, kind of take us through the standings and your thoughts on where teams are in terms of the EPC matchups, and then if you could just take a look at the District 11 playoff picture.
Yeah, absolutely. So, looking at the EPC right now, you got Easton up top, 6-0. You got Parkland right under them at 6-0. You got Emmaus under them at 6-0. Bethlehem Catholic standing at 5-1. Pocono Mountain West at 5-1 as well. Central Catholic sitting at 5-3. Our own Liberty Hurricanes sitting there at 4-2, and then Pleasant Valley at 3-3. So I know only 8 teams get in, so that is your top 8 there in the EPC. As far as districts go, I'm going to talk 6A just because that's where we stand. Um, and right now up top, you got uh, Parkland. They're sitting at 7-1 overall. You got Easton sitting at 10-0 overall. Pocono Mountain West, they're at third. They're 8-1. Emmaus 9-2. They're playing good basketball. Liberty sitting at 7-4. Northampton is in the sixth spot at 5-5. Deeruff is actually playing good basketball too. So hats off to Coach Piston. They're sitting at 4-4 in the seventh spot, and then Nazareth will take that maybe last spot, depending on what the league does and how the records shape out. And Nazareth sitting at that eighth spot at 4-6.
Looks like it's going to be. You see some teams in the bubble too that are interesting too, both leagues and districts. So I have a feeling we're going to
Yeah,
be talking a lot about playoff position right up until the start of the postseason.
yeah, and we spoke about this on the first episode. You got to collect your wins now because if you want to get in, you got to collect them.
All right. Well, Coach, thanks so much for your time. I know you're going to get you're busy preparing for that meat grinder stretch of Becca, Central, and Easton all coming up here over the next week. We'll catch up again in a couple weeks to see how you did during that stretch, and also get your thoughts on. By that point, we'll be slightly over midway through the season. So, thanks for your time, Coach.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll see you next time here at Coach Carnes' Corner.